Last week we were scrolling the listings of Facebook Marketplace for all things Saab, because you never know what you're going to find. And we spotted this listing that piqued our interest. The photo of the listing showed a basically wrecked Saab in a field surrounded by other Saabs. The title of the listing was Saab Parts. Now, based on that first photograph, it was hard to believe there could be anything salvageable, but there's more to it than meets the eye, and with every write-off there's a part that can be saved, and it might just be the piece that you're looking for. This is the story of a father who got into the breaking and selling parts business, and when his own son passed his driving test, he guaranteed his safety and put him behind the wheel of a Saab. And that very Saab would go on to sacrifice its own life to save the life of the driver. Would he have been so lucky had he been behind the wheel of something else? Who knows? This story is one dad's mission to keep the Saab brand alive, one part at a time. Let's meet him and hear his Saab story. Thanks so much for inviting me up here to take a look at your stock.
No problem.
And a little bit of an introduction to your business. Shall we take a look?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's go.
Let's go. I noticed a few on the side of the road as I was arriving, and I didn't expect to see this many behind the gate.
Just up the road is actually where I live, and I get very attached to things that I buy, and I have to sort of like park them there for a start. You know, if they make it to here, then there's a lot of things going around my head. Are they being broken or are they staying alive? But there is actually like 4 here that will be staying alive, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
So why don't you talk us through your collection here?
Right, so this little booty here, the back windscreen's broken because in the winds last year, one of my conifers at the said wooden cabin came down and hit it in the middle of the roof, which you can see. This one came from a car park in Wisbech where my wife parks every day. It sat there for quite a long time. The wife decided she was putting a message on the front screen. Do you want to sell this car? And within sort of like a few hours I owned it. And this is probably the 5th or 6th one within the collection.
Have you always been a Saab guy?
No, how it happened with me is when I first left school and came out of college, there's a company just half a mile up the road from me called the MGB Hive, and I started working there with Nigel and Sandra. Well, Nigel was an absolute exciting motor car racing driver in the day back when he was younger. I became part of his team with the MGs. We followed around the British Touring Car Championships and many other different titles as well. And there was just something about the Saab 900 Turbo that sort of like caught my eye. So it was then where I sort of like, there was something there that I always liked about, and that was that word that said turbo.
Exactly.
You know, and unfortunately 35 years ago I couldn't afford a Saab. Predominantly Saab drivers of the time were sort of like aging petrol heads who had got a few quid, a semi-retired or something like that. Yeah. Now as time's gone on, I've got a few health problems that's on the arise, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in the job that I'm in. I had to decide on something that's going to be able to keep this little old fruitcake up here occupied. I can afford to buy them now, and these are the things that I'm hopefully going to keep.
Isn't it funny that you used to have a Cortina, which you could afford now, then, but you couldn't afford that now?
No.
Because they're
because a good one of them, 12 grand a boy, that's right, yeah.
So they've swapped over, haven't they?
Yeah, the Saabs are actually becoming affordable. I have a young lad that should be coming down today, but he's got to come down today to get a turbo for his, because he's shot to the shop this morning and blew his turbo. We're not here to break the bank with everybody. I'm here more or less to keep the old beasts on the road, you know, keep one alive even if one's died.
Let's start with this 900 because I love this.
Right, the 900.
Looking a little bit sorry for yourself.
Excuse the graffiti on it. But they always say there's money, so I'll agree with that one. This one actually has got quite a reasonably good interior on it.
Oh, there is a good interior. In fact,
it's a very good interior. If you can smell it, can you smell the older car?
Oh yes, I do like the smell of an older car. That's a very tidy interior.
And it is, yeah. It's actually excellent. Now this is one. The story behind this one is all down to the Mayor of London. When he extended ULEZ, this one came up for sale. And he was a young lad again, which was nice to see, probably in his early 30s, and he couldn't afford the going to be £360 a month to do a 4-mile round trip to work.
Oh, that's fair.
So this one came up on the market. It does need a alternator on it still that I haven't put on it because I haven't really decided what's going on. If somebody come and made me an offer that I couldn't refuse, it would definitely go, because I bought it in the dark and bought it in the rain. So I see it, and it was shining lovely in the rain and it looked great, and I actually liked the wheels.
Yeah.
So if you take a look at the side of the car, can you notice anything different? It's actually got one odd rim on it.
Oh yeah.
This little darling here. And these actually still remind me a little bit of the Capri, but they've got a lot more about them, you know. They don't need a 2.8 engine V6, though. When they've got a 2 litre, it will do exactly the same.
Exactly.
Then I'll have the little Aero over here with the Irish plate on. That came up for sale. That was on eBay, actually.
That looks to be in incredible condition.
How's
it doing?
It actually looks quite a bit better than maybe what it is.
Right, okay.
It was a great car to go to work in. It was fully loaded, you know what I mean? It was really comfortable. I didn't feel like I wanted to get out of it when I got to work, and certainly didn't want to get out of it when I got home from work. And it came then, I've got a young son who had passed his driving test, and he wanted his first car. So the question was, what first car do you want? He was one of the younger ones of his school year, and all of his school pals had sort of passed the test.
Yeah.
And they was all flying around in the baked bean can Ford Fiesta 1600 Sports.
Yeah, usual things they can, afford. But
that's right.
Yeah.
So the question then came straight away with that: how much is that going to cost to insure?
Yeah.
And he sort of said anywhere between £3,500 to £3,900. And I said, and then the cost of the car, your first car, is going to cost around £10,000 to get on the road. He went, yeah. And I said, Oliver, you're not spending £10,000 for your first car. And then the head and the wheels of steel started turning around and grating and grinding, and I thought about the Saab that had done me and stood me in good stead for the 12 months, and I phoned up an insurance company called My Policy, and the lady on the end of the phone was really nice. And we went through all the details for him, and it was 1234. It was, and this is how I remember it. It was £1,234 for him to insure it.
That's a bit cheaper.
Yeah, it was an awful lot cheaper. So that was his first car. I got it out of the storage. It cost me £54 to put it back on the road. It was one drop link and the price of an MOT. The thing about it being his first car as well, and me not wanting him to have a Fiesta, was because you have the Saabs and the Volvos, where the safety systems are second to none. It's actually making me go goose pimply now thinking about it. And with a Saab against a Fiesta, I'd be more likely to be signing a death certificate if he was in a Fiesta.
Yeah.
And proof will have it now, the car actually saved my son's life. It's just up the road here. It's only half a mile maybe, but maybe a little bit more than half a mile. The road goes around the left-hand corner, and you then run up alongside the river.
Yep.
He was coming back the other way from getting his Indian tea from the local Indian in the village here. And as you approach the corner, grass is quite high there, and you can't see what's coming both ways. And there's the other car that was coming the other way, and they had a little bit of a swerving competition in the road to get round each other, and he ended up side in the bottom of the drain on his driver's side. He was on the driver's side, and he couldn't get out of the passenger side, but he actually crawled out of the driver's side window with a tiny scratch on one side of his head just here, and it was the opposite side of his body was a tiny little scratch on the end of his back of his hand, and up one forearm he'd got gravel rash. And I put that down to that car.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
absolutely,
look
100%.
at how the cabins.
If that had been a Ford Fiesta, I would have been writing the death certificate.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind, the thing is, what you don't actually get the full picture of here is how the roof is picked up like that. Is when it came out of the ditch, the forklift actually put its forks through the front window screen in the roof, because the roof was actually down where the straw is.
Right.
That's how low it was, and he walked away from it.
Incredible.
A little bit shocked.
Incredible for
100%. And like I say, just to say, the Saab saved my life. Metal I can replace.
Absolutely.
You know, kids you can't replace. And I wouldn't be able to have no grandkids with him then, would I? We had a little bit of a chat actually, and afterwards, and he said it's started to bother me, Dad. I said, what's that? He said, what happens if I'd have had my girlfriend in the car? And I said, well, look at the passenger side and look at the driver's side, how it was. I said, your girlfriend would have been okay. I said, but that's something you don't have to really concern yourself with. With that, I think it was like a little bit of a kick-start, and it gave him sort of like a good boot up the hole, if you like.
Yeah.
And he actually went and bought himself a Mitsubishi Trojan truck. I'm not going to say that that's any safer, but it's a little bit higher off the ground. It's got a little bit more metal for a chassis for him, you know. And,
I understand. Yeah.
He's got himself that. Not that he doesn't like Saabs or anything like that, because he absolutely loved his Saab. He was gutted that he'd had the accident in it, but you know it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the car as long as my boy's safe.
Exactly. So you're going to keep this one forevermore.
If it can go on, then keep another Saab on the road, which is the whole idea here. Is it's not about money making. Yeah. You know, it's about one that's dying, keeping another one living. You know, we sort of let's give it a few donors. You know,
absolutely.
A few organ transplants to keep the other ones back on the road. And I said my health is failing a little bit now, and it's more about keeping my head occupied. And standing out here this morning, you was doing exactly that. You know, keeping my head occupied.
And here we have a convertible that you've just had a customer come down this morning to take some bits off.
Yeah, Steve's been down a few times now. He's come to get another I do like some convertibles, but I've never been really a convertible person.
Right, okay.
Some of these, that you'll get one and it's just a set of wheels, or they just seem to look different to other ones. You know, you know what I mean. And here we have another one. This was a very nice Romanian chap's car, and I one from the local town of Wisbech, or just outside Wisbech, another little village.
So most of them have been like local listings.
Facebook Marketplace has been really good for me.
Yeah. Hey, it's how we found you, right?
Absolutely. You know, and as I said, I started looking, and it's been really good to me. And I don't go buy things on a whim or anything like that. I have to see that something's right. I don't mind paying over the odds a little bit, as long as I know I'm going to be able to get that back and just a little bit more to help buy another one.
Yeah, it might take a bit of time with all the parts and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah,
hopefully, fingers crossed and all that, and touch the wood, that I may have a little bit more time on my hands to do it when the health sort of like don't allow me to go do the construction work anymore.
How old generally do you go? So these are all sort of, 2003 onwards.
I actually nearly bought a 99 turbo. There was two that came up at the time. One was a white colour, I think it had got red pinstriping on it.
Yeah.
And another one was a black one.
I thought that was a great shape. It wasn't so popular, but it was...
It wasn't, and I don't understand why it wasn't so popular, being a small car with a turbo.
I know.
You know.
It's like a precursor, isn't it?
Yes.
To what came after. But yeah, I just think they're awesome. You don't see them.
You don't see them. I mean, they're like the proverbial rocking horse.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
You don't see them, and I nearly bought one. But unfortunately, I was too slow out the blocks, I suppose you'd call it.
These cars, even now, many years after the company shut their doors, they still turn heads, don't they?
I think they will do forevermore. I think they turned the head right from the start. I mean, they did my head when I was 16 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
17 years old, and they still do now. But although they are going down on the road in quantities, I still think, if I remember correctly, there's still over 30,000 Saabs still on the road within Britain. I think that Saabs, personally, will be that go-to car. Any
that are still kicking around in 10, 20 years from now.
That's right, and the reason being is they made some quite, I wouldn't say high-performance cars, but they made a a performance car that if you've got to spend the money on it, you can make a really high performance car. The 2.3 hot engine, you know, you don't have to spend a massive amount of money to sort of like be banging on the 450 horsepower door, you know.
God, no.
On British roads, that's more than enough donkeys under the bonnet to get you from A to B, you know. You're never going to have sort of like drifting cars out of Saabs or anything like that because the front wheel drive.
Exactly, yeah.
They are still like they was when they first came out, the granddad sleeper car.
Yeah.
The old boys in the XR3Is, myself and XR2s and such back in the day, sit there revving it with your cherry bomb exhaust on, which was all blown no go, and the older man sitting in the car just grinning at you and saying, "Whatever's that old kid grinning at?" And then he leaves you at the traffic light 100 miles an hour.
Totally
you know what I mean?
smoke you, yeah.
You know, and you think all that noise and bluster for nothing.
Exactly. These are quite understated, but they catch you, don't they?
In actual fact, this one's a 2 litre, and I think this is 185 horsepower one. This one came along, and I think if I remember, this is quite an early Arc, and it's got the Arc interior in it.
Okay, let's take a look.
And there was a lad that came down for a rear door. And if you look on the thing, it's got that horrible sort of like wood plastic finish. It's ghastly.
That is ghastly.
If you took that piece part away from it,
and the wood in the middle there,
it would.
Yeah, you do sometimes wonder. I mean, we do praise Saab for their design choices, but sometimes they've made a couple of errors.
I think he liked the herbal plant as well because it stinks in there. But that's for another day.
That's for another day.
Design fault or something with Saab, but the lenses fall off the light cluster.
Okay.
And as soon as I advertised and put one on, the lights are gone.
Strange.
Yeah, and it's all due to this left-hand light lens dropping off.
Very strange. Yeah.
Yeah, and
must have just cheaped out on the glue that day.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I tell everybody that has one just to run a bead of clear silicone around the inside of it to stick it to the body of the light, you know, the cluster. Another local car. This one's a 3 litre V6 turbo petrol, but it's still in really great condition, and it's reasonably low miles. I think it's just over the 100,000 mark. If I was to
beautiful
find it.
How do you, for the cars you've got here that have like windows missing and stuff like that, how on earth do you stop the damp getting in when they're stored outdoors all the time?
To be fair, there is no way of stopping it. That convertible over there, that one fogs up with damp, whether you got the roof down or whatever it is. I think they just do damp up as well, and even with the doors shut, it seems to give some sort of effect to them, because nowadays, probably even from the early 90s, car doors now seem to shut a lot better than what they did.
Right, okay.
And because they don't actually breathe, they cause a lot of condensation inside. So yeah, with the doors open, it's part of the business anyway. I can't go around on every one.
No, of course.
Putting I'd have a full-time job of putting polythene up every window. And that.
Yeah, true.
It cost me a fortune in duct tape, you know. So.
And most of the parts you sell will be pretty tough against the weather anyway, won't they?
Yeah,
so
to be fair, I'll get a few for interior parts. Yeah. It's generally under bonnet stuff, rear lights, bumpers, and front wings. They seem to sell well as well. You know, if I've got the right colour.
As a closing bit, I think we can wrap up.
Oh, we've got this one, yeah. Can't forget this one. This is done just about 200k, and I can categorically say if that was MOT'd, I'd jump into it and not fear of it breaking down, going to the moon.
Oh wow! Okay.
And this one, for some, I've against this one, against that one, and against the one up there. Out of all the four of them, this one seems to fly.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't have no reason why. It seems like it's just got this extra spurt of horsepower, if you like. But it's not that you can map these ones to a big performance, because they've got the low pressure fuel pump on them, and you can only get to about 146, 147 anyway.
Right,
but this one just seems to fly. And this started his days in England, and then had 16 years abroad in France. We went down to Wisbech and we picked this up, and I can honestly say it was one of the most enjoyable ride homes that I've had in a car that I've driven for the first time that I've ever had. Unfortunately, for all the stuff that I've got in it, if I was actually to hoover it out...
Wow, you got a lot.
Yeah, if I was actually to hoover it out, the car is in the seats and everything is in fantastic condition for a 200k car. Unfortunately, as with the roof of that car, the conifer came down, it also hit this one. Would I drive this over that? Every day of the week. Every day of the week over a sports wagon. I'd drive one of these. It's a great car.
Well, I have to say, seeing what you're doing here, kind of off your own back, really, trying to keep other people's Saabs going.
I don't want to be a millionaire. A man with no money is a lot happier than a man with loads of it.
Thanks so much for sharing your business with us and letting us have a look around.
To be fair, if you want to try and come back in about 12 months' time, we should have doubled.
Oh, wow. I'll come back.
There's two I've got to go look at today, this afternoon. Two I've got to go look at this afternoon, and more on the horizon.
So if someone was to watch this episode and want to contact you, what would be the best way to get in touch with you?
My telephone number, which is 0746 446 0211. You can call me Dave or anything else you like, because I usually answer to it.
Amazing. And that's a wrap. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of our show. We hope you're enjoying the content. It's really important to point out that there is a lot of help out there if you are a new or seasoned Saab owner with regard to parts and spares. Dave here from Wisbech is just one of many parts suppliers across the UK, and if you want to find out where to get bits for your Saab, the best place to start is the communities, which can be found on Facebook. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.